Like some days you're like, I don't know anything, and then the other days you're like, I'm learning, right? And you kind of just sway in between those. Like I don't know anything, and I'm learning. Oh, I don't know anything, I'm learning. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Jason. In this video, I wanted to go over my journey in becoming an iOS developer in the hopes that it could help people who were who were in my shoes, people who were in a similar position as me. Yeah, enjoy. To be honest, I don't even know where to start because I had a few attempts at trying to learn how to code and becoming a programmer, but inevitably I would always hit a wall. And not that it was like programming itself. It's not too hard, at least in my perspective. It wasn't that hard. It was just I would hit a wall. My first attempt to become a programmer was college. Actually, I went into college as a math and comp sci major. And I actually did really well my first semester. I did great, passed all the courses. I really enjoyed I took a Java course and I was involved like in the computer science community at school, and I was doing pretty good, especially as a freshman. Like it was just my first year and I was already involved and learning as much as I could. But then my second semester, I got wrecked. Yeah, it was a tough semester. It wasn't like the courses were hard. It was like I just went through some stuff, I guess. Like it was really hard to get out of bed and go to class, and that by itself didn't allow me to do my best that semester. So I ended up withdrawing for one of the comp sci courses. I think it was like a C++ course. I had to withdraw from it, and that kind of like hurt me a little bit, I guess. Like I would say it kind of like hurt my ego, and I was like, you know what? I would just stick to math because I actually did decently well in my math classes that semester somehow. And I just stuck with the math major and was like, oh, I don't like programming. But in reality, it was like I had failed at it, quote unquote. It just withdrew from one class. So I was like, you know what? Not for me. And never picked it up. And then the next time I actually touched a piece of code was 2020. It was beginning of the year before COVID, actually. I started studying some Python. I decided to learn Python, and I had a potential opportunity at like a company. They had like this program that I was studying to be accepted in, and it was going really well. Like Python is pretty simple. I had experience before, so it wasn't too hard, and I was taking some courses, and I was planning on doing a boot camp. But then, bam, COVID hits, and COVID made the boot camp get canceled, and it made the opportunity that I had it kind of closed that door. And I was already working at the time, and I'd received a promotion, and I was like, you know what, shit is getting crazy. I don't know what the hell is gonna happen, So I just stayed at my job and was like, not gonna do that. I guess now is not the time, or I guess not for me. To be honest, I didn't think about it. I just put it aside and I put programming to the side, and I was like something I just didn't talk about. Yeah, that was failure number 2. And then last year, 2021, was actually a pretty challenging year for me. I mean, not super challenging. Like I wasn't gonna die, but I went through a pretty painful breakup, and I started when the even before break, I was already asking like existential questions in a way, like what is my place in this life, and what do I want to do, what impact do I want to have, yada yada yada. Kind of thinking about my past and kind of things that influenced me, and kind of like programs, I guess you can call it. Although I don't want to sound like a crazy person, like you being programmed. But we get programs from like society and like our family on like what's right, what you do, not to do. And I kind of realized like I had lived through that in a way. Like I wasn't aware of all the things I have picked up, and really wasn't living the life I wanted to live. Like I kind of hated myself at that point, and it made me go on like a journey of self improvement and development, and I'm trying to like find my place in this world, you know? So one thing I forgot to mention is at the end of 2021 I actually got laid off because I was working at art school and accounting and a little bit of tech, but not like programming tech, you know, doing some light tech work. And yeah, I got laid off, but I mean, fortunately for me, like I was already planning on leaving, but I never knew when to rip off the Band-Aid in a way, because I mean, I didn't enjoy the job. I mean, it was like it was a comfortable job, you know. It wasn't challenging me. I wasn't learning anything from it. I wasn't growing. So I knew I wanted to leave, but I didn't know when, and so that happening did it for me. And along that journey, I realized I rediscovered my love for like reading and actually learning. Like I started learning like a bunch of random stuff, like on health, science, psychology. I took a few courses on YouTube. You know, YouTube University is a real thing, and I don't know. Y'all don't need to go to school. I mean, I went to school, but you could learn everything online, to be honest, and you won't have to pay $100,000 or whatever. But yeah, at the time I was taking these courses, learning as much, and eventually one day I ran into like a programming course where they built out like a game using Python. It was on Free Code Academy. No wait, Free Code Camp, which is a cool resource. That's a shout out to whoever runs that. Shout out to y'all. Y'all do good. Yeah, I took that course and it was actually fun. I built that. Look, I might put the game on the screen. It was cool. And from there, I was like, maybe I can learn something. Well, it would be cool to learn something. That's what I said. So I started learning a little bit more, learning a bit more. Then I took like a full Python course, and I was like, you know what? I can do this. And now the third time of trying to become a programmer, I knew like I really could do this. Like it's like it just takes time and discipline, you know, practice, daily practice or frequent practice. You don't gotta do it every day, but you should if that's something you want to do in your life. And with that mindset, I went on the journey and started learning Python, and then I realized I needed to like decide what niche I wanted to join in, like in the field, in the comp sci field, because there's a lot you could there's a lot of areas. They were all like fun, to be honest. Like I'm interested in all of them. Like machine learning is really cool. AI, it's like the same thing. What was data science? Data science was cool. I like data and numbers. I guess that's why I got a math degree. and yeah, I had to like figure out what area I wanted to go in. And a reoccurring theme that I noticed like in my Python projects and stuff, like I really enjoyed building out applications, especially like on the mobile phone, because the impact you can have is like what's the word? What's the word? Somebody, female. Let's just go undefined or limitless. Actually, that's the word, limitless, because we take our phones everywhere, and it's with us 24/7, and everyone has a phone. Shout out to the phone guy, whoever made it. and yeah, like, and if you build something that's very useful and beneficial to people, it could really change their lives, you know. And that with that thinking, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna learn how to build mobile applications. And I have an iPhone and I had a MacBook, and I like Apple products. You know, I'm not like a fanboy, like Apple, what the fuck is this? Go, shit. You know, no, it's not that serious. Just a company, just a product or whatever. But yeah, I decided to learn Swift and dive in deep into iOS, and this was around like a month or two after picking up Python again. And it was actually really fun. I took like the Angela Yu course on Udemy, which is like the gold standard, I'd say. Of course, everyone takes it when they want to get into iOS. And it was a cool course. Shout out to Angela Yu. you lit. She was cool actually. Like she's a cool person. Yeah, of course, it's a really long course. It has like 60 hours of content. I got through almost all of it, and I was like, all right, time for me to go out there and try to build some stuff, right? Because you can't just, well, you could just take courses all the time, but you got to actually build your own projects and stuff just to kind of apply what you learn, because that's how you reinforce the material. And I started building out some apps, simple to-do lists, simple one. And then I actually got the idea to build out a music platform for my friend Flamo. Shout out to Flamo. We actually have a podcast together. Maybe if you guys can find it. Now I'll link shout out to Nonstop too. I'll link it in the description. Shout out Deep Dots. shout out. But yeah, I decided to build out a music platform called Flamo Sound. I teamed up with a friend of mine, and that was actually really cool because I had no idea how to build a music platform, so I spent a bunch of time researching it. And I went through like 5 iterations of a music app until I knew I could build one out, and I had an idea of the layout and design I wanted to go with. At the same time, while this studying and these projects were going on, I decided to make a move from Miami to Atlanta, because I had lived in Miami most of my life, except for college and here and there. But I decided it was time for a change, and I wanted to grow. And me planning on becoming a programmer, developer, engineer, or whatever, I kind of thought of it as like a leap, like I'm going to go to Atlanta and I'm going to become a programmer because I had no other choice. So we plan me and my group of friends, we planned on moving to Atlanta. And at the time I wasn't working because I had just been studying, working on myself. And I still had money saved, and I had a decent amount of money saved, like enough to make the move and still be good off for a few months. So yeah, we moved to Atlanta in May 17th actually was the first day. Drove down here with Rocky, or up here. And it was a cool summer because I spent the whole summer just literally programming. 8 hours a day, pretty much 8 hours a day, programming. But not just programming, I also did some leak code here and there and programming, which is pretty much the same thing. I ventured out like here and there, like on the weekends. Sometimes I try to go out, but I was focused on my goal. So yeah, in May we moved in, and I was still working on Flamosan at the time, so that was like one of my main focuses, and also learning more because I wanted to know, or at least feel comfortable in my knowledge of Swift and iOS development before going out there and applying, cause that's just the type of person I am. I like to, I don't. I mean, you can fake it till you make it, of course, but I like to know, because you will get tested on the job or like on the interview before you even get the job. They will make sure they will test you. So yeah, I spent my goal, or my idea was to spend May and June just studying. And then my slogan for July was July apply. July apply. July apply. And that's pretty much what I did. Like I just 8 hours a day learning Swift, learning all the things, learning and building old projects basically. So I would like learn, like study stuff, do some courses, work on like some projects, And then July came and it was time to apply. And my methodology was just shoot, volume shooter. Just shoot like 50, 70, 60 applications a day. And also another thing I was doing too was building out my portfolio. Like I had already built one out, but I was kind of like improving it, and also iterating my resume as I learned more and did more projects. Basically making yourself more appealing to get interviews and potentially the job offer, right? So that was my idea with iterating the resume and the portfolio and all that. My first big interview, because my first interviews were contracting roles, and they weren't really my thing. Like these people were like kind of lowballing in a way, and not that I wanted like 100. Like I didn't want $1 million, of course, but they were like lowballing, and they wanted to lock me up for like 2 years, and I'm like, nah. Or they wanted me to relocate, and I had just relocated to Atlanta, so I'm like, I'm not gonna move again. I just moved. So then my first callback from like a big tech firm was I got an email from Audible saying I had moved on to the next stage, which was I had to take an assessment, and that was cool, but also crazy because I realized I gotta study more leak code because at the time I wasn't doing that much leak code. I was like learning Swift, doing prime projects, learning Swift, doing my projects. So I had put leak code to the side, and at that point I was like, damn, I gotta do leak code. So I got the email on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leak code all day, from 8 to 7 or whatever. From 8 to 7, leak code. And then Saturday morning, I take the assessment, and it was pretty hard for like an entry level role. Like the questions were like, I think one was like a medium leak code question, another one was like a hard leak code question. I was like, damn. But fortunately, I did well enough to get to the next stage, which was a virtual onsite. And I was like, oh damn, this is serious, cause I mean it was like not once in a lifetime opportunity, but it was a like life changing opportunity at the time, cause it would be my first programming job. It's like a big firm. I was running lower, like I was pretty low on money, not that low yet, but I was getting low. I was like, damn, I kind of need this. I kind of want this too. So I get the email from the recruiter saying, oh, we got to schedule your virtual onsite. And I wanted to schedule it like, give me a month, give me a year, and I'll kill it. But it seemed like from conversations with her, they had like a sense of urgency of doing the interviews. So I was shooting for 2 weeks ahead, but I did like the following week because she reached out like on Monday or Tuesday, and I was like, all right, we'll do it next Tuesday. Because originally I wanted 2 weeks, and I had said that, but then she was like not responding, so I got scared that I scared her off or something like that. So I just settled for the week after. So I had a week to prepare, and that's basically what I did. Again with the leak code, from 8 to 7 leak code. It was just gym, leak code. Walk my dog a little bit, get some air, try not to get too crazy. And then leak code, and then go to sleep. It was like that for the whole week. Even on the weekend, same thing. The day before, same thing. And doing that, actually, I got pretty comfortable with leak code questions and like data structure and algorithm. Interview day comes, and I mean, I barely slept the night before, but I get up, I do my routine, hit the gym. Great workout, actually. Amazing workout. I should do more interviews. Get even better workouts. And I'm hyped. I thought about napping because I didn't get that much sleep. I mean, I slept. I didn't get as much as I usually get. I thought about napping after the gym, but I had such a great workout. I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to go get ready. And I was just like wired the whole day, basically. And I don't even drink coffee or anything. I guess it was like the cortisol or whatever. It was just flowing through my body. And first interview was at 10. It was behavioral. It was cool. Just get to know me questions. I did fairly well. One thing that I guess didn't help me, I mean, when you're starting, shout out to the AC that just cut on. One thing that didn't help me was I didn't have that much like collaborative work to talk about because I was self-taught, learning online, so I didn't have that much collaboration in terms of working like on a team, and I didn't have like any work experience, right? But I was able to answer all like the behavior questions. I did have work experience, but it wasn't in tech, so I gave like a few examples in there. From there, and then the next 3 interviews all technical. I didn't get any like crazy questions. Like I just got like a linked list question. And then the other 2 were like object-oriented programming related. And they were pretty simple. Like I did really well on them, I would say. Like I was communicating, asking questions. I was able to get the solution for all of them, well, except for the last one. The last one was pretty complicated actually, because it was an object-oriented question, and I kind of had to do a lot of stuff. I had to build out a lot of methods, and that was like the only problem I struggled with in a way. I felt pretty good though, because I killed like I did great on the first two technicals. I did all right on the last technical, and then the behavior I did good. So get through that day, and then I just have to play the waiting game. The recruiter tells me they'll let me know on Friday, but apparently they weren't able to meet that day, so I had to. On Friday, I get a call saying, "Oh, it's on Monday. We'll let you know." Then Monday comes, and wah 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 wah. I found out I didn't get it, and it sucked, cause it would have been great to get it. Right? It would have been great to get it. Would have solved my dilemma of not having a job, and I was like running low on funds, and like kind of had some things I wanted to do, so it would have been great to have a job, but it wasn't the time. So I decided to keep on chugging. I mean, there's nothing else you could do, right? So I went back to my studies, but in my projects, applying. Some days I would set out just to apply, like set aside just to apply, and I wouldn't study because I had that sense of urgency of getting a job or wanting to get a job. And at the time, I'm getting contacted for contracting roles. If you're looking for a job, I think a contracting role that wants you to relocate, it's probably like a surefire option. But if you're willing to relocate, because I was getting a lot of contacts or contacted a lot for those. But I don't want to be sent to anywhere, or I just moved to Atlanta, so I didn't want to move. But if you're willing and you're young, try it out. I would. But I'm joking. So yeah, about a week or so goes by. I'm still doing my stuff, and then I get a call from a recruiter at Kroger. I think I was at Kroger. I was like, oh, but I answered, and I was like, and it was a recruiter from like a fintech firm, and she was like, oh, you want to schedule for an interview? And I was like, sure. Not sure, but I was like, oh, cool. I was kind of caught off guard because I was at the store. So yeah, she lets me know like the position and all that, and we scheduled an interview for the following week. And this is for like an iOS role. I wasn't sure if like if it was gonna be a leak code question or like a Swift question, because it's weird. Like the tech industry, I guess, like you either gonna get a data structure and algorithm question, or maybe you'll get something related to what area you want to go in. Depends on the company, depends on the interviewer, all those. And the interview comes, and I was prepping for like data structures and algorithms again, but it actually was Swift related. Like during the interview, I was like, oh, this is a Swift question. So I kind of like shift. It took a second, and then I was like, Swift. And then the information came to me. It was like networking or something. That was like one of the questions. And yeah, I was able to go through that. And yeah, that was the interview. There were some behavioral questions as well, and then from there I just waited to hear back. And luckily, I heard back about a week later. And they extended an offer, let me know all the stuff, and boom, it came at a great time because it had been about like 6 months since I started learning Swift, and my funds were low because I was just focusing on programming, and I didn't want to like get a job that would take away from that. So yeah, my funds were low, and it came at a great time, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hope you found some value in there. If you're struggling, learning, just keep going. Not every day that I was studying and stuff was a good day. Like some days you're like, I don't know anything, and then the other days you're like, I'm learning, right? And you kind of just you kind of just sway in between those. Like, I don't know anything, and oh, I'm learning. Oh, I don't know anything, I'm learning, you know. But yeah, it's having that discipline, I would say, because as you heard, like I tried multiple times in my life to become a programmer, but until I really became disciplined and realized, like, oh, you can do anything. To be honest, you just have to like commit the time and the effort, put in the work, and it'll come. So thank y'all for tuning in. If you're coding, just keep coding. Don't stop. Actually, stop watching YouTube and go programming. Go learn something. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace. Peace. Peace.